Regardless on whether you are a newbie in website blogging or building, when you're buying a web host package, there are at least two main features that you must have inside this web host package, which are unlimited bandwidth and unlimited website or domain. So if you go to one of the most famous web host service provider, for example, HostGator, which is my favorite and preferred choice, in their baby plan and business plan, they offer you unlimited domain feature and unmetered bandwidth. While for Bluehost, which is another web host provider, they offer you the same thing, which is the unlimited website and unmetered bandwidth. For GoDaddy, they also offer you unlimited website and unlimited bandwidth. So why choose unlimited website features? This is pretty important. So once you've bought a host package that allows you to have multiple domains, it is much more cost effective if you want to build and have another website domain in the future and avoiding yourself buying a new host package, which might cost you around 10 to 15 US dollars per month. So let's say you have your current domain under your web host package. So what if you found out that the other domain name it is much cheaper and you want to change it, or you still want to have your current domain name and you want to build another website which is related to other things, and this is where the unlimited website feature goes useful to you, and it is very cost effective. So normally a .com domain name will cost you around $8 to $10 per year, and if you want to build another domain name, for example .site or .online, which is the top level domain name, you can realize that most of the domain names are pretty cheap. And for a web host that allows you to host multiple domains, this is very useful where you can have multiple websites under the same web host. So what is bandwidth? You will notice that most of the web host providers provide you unmetered bandwidth features, and they are not much to compare because they provide the same thing. But I think that you need to at least understand the term of bandwidth and why it is so important to your website. So bandwidth is all about data transmissions and traffic that goes between your website, visitors and internet. So when visitors visit your blog, they visit your web page, they download the free gifts inside your website. There will be data transmission between the visitors and your website via the internet. It is all about how smooth it is to process the experience of the visitors viewing your web page, and it's all about how fast your web page can finish loading once visitors are landed on your website. Bandwidth is also defined as the data that is being transmitted over a fixed amount of time. One web page requires approximately 1 MB, which is the maximum for one visitors. So what if 1,000 visitors visit your website at one time, and this will need a very high bandwidth if your website needs a lot of data transmission. So it is very important to improve your website design and structures to optimize your bandwidth usage. So what determines a website to need such a high bandwidth? For example, some of the websites that allows you to have video streaming in the website host without using any third-party hosting, for example YouTube, and this will slow down your website performance. And website coding arrangement sometimes is not optimized between the programming language, which is the CSS, HTML, PHP, and the JavaScript. So these programming languages will allow extractions of data to put it into your front end, which is the interface. Sometimes if you not really arrange those codes well, it will slow down your website running time and also increase your bandwidth. And some of the websites that allow direct downloads of templates, graphics, books, videos. So if you allow downloads of around few KB, it's fine. If you have direct downloads which is more than 1 MB, and this is something you need to be careful on that, or probably you can just use a third-party file hosting to do that. And I've seen some inappropriate ads that use JavaScript that actually might slow down, because when those advertisement pops up in your website, they will incur data transmission between your ads and your website, and this will slow down your website running time and also increase your bandwidth. So in fact, you need to understand the meaning behind the unmetered bandwidth. So even though they offer you unmetered bandwidth, there is always a limitation. So you have to look up at the terms and conditions on how they define the word unmetered. For HostGator, it seems that you can't use up 25% of their resources in no longer than 90 seconds. So they actually didn't define how many data transmission, for example, how many KB or MB. They just say 25%. So this is pretty vague when it comes to these terms and conditions. And they also expect your website to be a normal operation of a business website or a personal blog website, which might not use up a very high bandwidth. So the bigger and more complicated design your website is, the longer time that it needs to run and the higher bandwidth that it will require, and more bandwidth will be used up when someone visits your blog or website. So it will be time lagging, and sometimes the web host provider will ask you to reduce your disk usage to reduce the bandwidth. So thankfully, in nowadays, if you want to design a website, it is pretty much optimized and minimalist with using a website building platforms such as WordPress, which I'm going to teach you, and also Wix. Probably heard that too. So this kind of platform will help you arrange the programming languages between the PHP, Java, CSS, HTML to allow a better interface and an optimized bandwidth. And what if you want to show videos on your website? You can use YouTube. So you can use it and integrate into your website so people can watch it. So if you want to upload things for visitors to download, you can always use third-party hosting. For example, Google Drive, Dropbox, and the famous one, Mediafire, which is very useful. You can use them to share your files easily on the website, because most of the data transmission will go through the third-party hosting. At the end of the day, you have to understand that a normal business website or a famous blog that has thousands of views every day, that won't actually hit the maximum bandwidth, because the main purpose of a website is basically sharing and presentations and viewing experience for visitors. It's all about how good when visitors are viewing your web page. When visitors visit your blogs, it's all about sharing information and knowledge. This is another main purpose of a website. Another thing is that you need to ensure that your website has a minimum loading time within a few seconds so the visitors can see your whole web page. And plus, also a platform for visitors to know you more on the details. For example, they can subscribe to your email newsletter, and also they can look up to your social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So you have to remember that the main purpose of the web host providers provide this kind of service for your website is a place for sharing knowledge, sharing information through writings, through blogging, through photos, and it is a platform for visitors to get to know you more and get in touch with you.